Hi everyone, Carla Archer here with helping you work on your wellness, and happy Earth Day to you guys. I wanted to do a special today just talking about Earth Day, drawing awareness that we acknowledge that today is Earth Day, but what are some of the things that we're doing every day to help to reduce our impact on this planet? It's important to make some choices. I think through this pandemic especially, it's really been brought to light, how the Earth, by having us being self-isolated and not creating such a great impact on the Earth, has been able to help itself recover a little bit. And for me, it really brings to light again my responsibility as a human on this planet about the choices that I make. And even if it's a small choice that I can make to do something a little bit differently, how significant that impact can have, because we have 7.7 billion people, I believe it is, in the world right now. And if we all just made one slight change, that could make a difference. Over time, those differences can be very, very impactful. So I would love to hear from you guys too, just to hear about the things that you're doing to make a difference, because I think it's important, and we learn from that too. Maybe it's something we never thought about. Maybe it's something really simple and we go, hey, I could do that too. That'd be easy to pick up. Feel free to share a link and to share a comment. But today I was just going to talk about a few things that I do to be able to make that little bit of a difference. So I got a few products out here on my table, and I'm just going to show you what my day looks like and some of the changes that we've made here in our home. So you can see I'm in a different location. I am not in my office today. I'm in my downstairs living space. And one thing that we did when we renovated and redid this home was try to repurpose as much stuff as we possibly could. Now you'll see the clock on the wall. My husband built that from repurposed wood. We have barn board in our bedroom. We've repurposed items from an old store that used to be in our community, tin ceiling tiles. We have a sliding door. Got that track. We've used an old dresser and created that into a vanity, and a few other things in and around our house. Our light fixtures are made out of old pails and buckets and different kind of interesting things. Now that kind of goes with the decor in the house, and we chose to do that, but just some ways that you could repurpose things in your own house. It's also great because it gives you the ability to be a little more creative. My husband is incredibly creative with these things, and he'll say to me, I think I'm going to make something out of this and that. And I've come to know that, when he says it, I'm like, yeah, I trust you. You're going to come up with something pretty cool. So that's one great way, is just kind of look around, see what you have, see how you can repurpose it, and get a little creative. Now, one other thing that we do use in our home is that we don't use any detergent to clean our clothes. And a lot of people are going, okay, like, how does that work? So what we found about 3 years ago is the Smart Clean Laundry Ball. And now this product here is a ball that has 4 different kinds of natural occurring beads inside of it. You can hear it when I shake. You can hear it shaking in there a little bit. Now, what our soap does is it works with the clothes chemically to be able to clean them. It opens up the fibers and gets the dirt out that way. But what these beads do inside, there's 4 different kinds of naturally occurring beads in here. What it does is it changes the pH level in the water to bring it to a neutral. It helps to remove the chlorine. It is also opening up the fabric to help the dirt release. It is changing the water physically to do the same job that soap does chemically. Now, did you know that about 2% of the weight of your clothing, if you are using a soap right now, is chemical residue? So you have that chemical residue in your clothing all the time. You're breathing it in. It's being absorbed into your skin. And you may wonder, how does it work? Well, what I do is I put it at the bottom of my machine. So whether it's a front load or a top load, because it needs to touch the water, because it's changing the way the water is working to do the work that your soap would normally do. And you just put it in. It works on a cold water application. And yes, you can clean clothes with cold water. And off it goes. Now, this is all we've been using in our home for 3 years, over 3 years now. And at first, I was a little leery too. I was taking stuff out of the machine and smelling it to make sure that it was clean, and it really does work. Now, some of the things that we do use is a little bit of a natural stain stick too, because if, say, you get like a grease stain, or maybe like a pen, or whatever the case may be, you're just going to need to pre-treat that first, because again, we're getting away from the chemicals, and it's the chemicals that are attacking and doing the work for those. So maybe it does take a little bit more consideration when you are putting your laundry in. I just take a check over everything, or if I know that something has a stain on it that I need to address, I try to do it right away, or I have it in my pile so I know. So although, you know what, it may take less than 30 seconds extra for me when I'm loading my washing machine, it's well worth it, because here's what's happening when you're washing your clothes with chemicals as well. Not only are you carrying that residue on you, but every time that your machine goes through a cycle, it's taking all of that water with the chemicals in it, and it's putting it out into the system. It's putting it back out into the world. So if we can help to reduce that, and again, when we're talking, I know not 7.7 billion of us all have a washing machine, but you think of the great number of people who do, and how many chemicals are being flushed down the drain, this could make a significant impact. Now, how long does this ball last? It lasts for 365 loads. So it depends how many loads you do in a week. On average, I probably do 4 loads a week, let's say with towels and sheets and everything. And my ball lasts me about 1 year and 3/4. This ball is costing me $55 Canadian plus taxes, and I'm getting 365 loads out of it. So pretty good deal, I think. Right now, frankly, I am so getting away from using chemicals that even when I go down the aisle at the grocery store, say if the toilet paper happens to be located in the same aisle as the soap, I find it just a little bit overwhelming. So Smart Clean Laundry Ball, I'm going to post some information about that too, because this has been a fantastic substitute for soap. I can take it with me when I go places. If I have to hand wash something, I just put this into the sink and let it have contact with the water for a little bit, and then I can hand wash it without using anything else. Great thing too is when this ball is all done, the beads are slowly going to degrade. That's how they're being used up. The outside is a number 7 recyclable plastic. Any remaining beads are biodegradable, so they can just go outside into the garden. And then you're left with a magnet on each end, because that's how it's all working. But again, I'm going to share some more information about that, a quick video, so you guys can take a look. This is a really, really cool product. So the next step that we changed in our laundry system too is going to wool dryer balls. So I know a lot of people still use bounce sheets, those types of things, chemically induced, severely chemically laden. And that has an impact on you too, because that's absorbing into your skin, that's hanging on your clothes, and that's going out into the air, because where's your dryer venting? It's venting outside, and all of those chemicals are going out into the airspace. So now what happens with the wool dryer balls is that these are all natural. And these actually help to speed up the drying process, because they get in between your clothes, and as they're rolling around, they're creating greater gaps within the drying system, which allows your clothes to dry a little bit faster. Now, if you do like a little bit of scent, I use an essential oil. So I have some lavender essential oil or whatever is your favorite. And I put a little dab on my ball just before I put it into the dryer. And it just gives a little bit of a light scent. I particularly just do that with my sheets. The rest of my clothes, I don't. Now, you know, at first it might be a little bit of a shift, but then it's kind of a really nice change, because you no longer have those perfumes or odors that are on your clothing itself. So I'll put a little more information too about why wool dryer balls are very effective, and you know, how you can go about getting some of those. So one thing that we do use here in our home too is a wood fiber dishcloth. Now I'll show you what it looks like when you first get it. It's a big square like this, and it's kind of stiff and rigid. And as soon as you wet it, it gets really nice and soft. So this is a great long-lasting dishcloth. And again, what's great about this is that when it's done its life, it biodegrades because it's made of wood fiber. Now, it doesn't hold odor like a normal dish rag would either, which is a lovely thing about it. And it's super soft, and it cleans really, really well. So I'll share some more information about this dish rag for you guys too. The other thing that we use when we're using a rag is we have some bamboo fiber cloths that we use. So what's nice about these again is that when they're done, they are going to biodegrade and break down. So we're not throwing heaps of rag garbage into the environment. And these come in, I cut this sheet in half. It actually comes in a wider sheet just like this. And that, again, is all made out of bamboo. So we feel like that's a nice choice. It cleans really well. It doesn't leave any lint behind, which is really important if you're doing your dusting or cleaning your car or whatever the case may be. You can see I'm stretching it out so it's not coming apart. And this is something that you can wash in the machine and then just hang to dry. So that's a really great option too. Now, for myself, I use a beeswax deodorant. I don't use a commercial grade, if you will, deodorant because there's a lot of chemicals involved in those too, and your lymph nodes are located in your underarms, and so that's just putting more chemicals into your body, more chemicals in the process environmentally, and the beeswax choice really does work. Uncle Mike's is a great brand, and that's the brand that I use. You know, at first, again, we're always worried about odor, and my husband's always like, you don't smell, and I'm like, I know, but I'm always just worried, you know. And Uncle Mike's has really been a winner for me. It comes in a recyclable container that I can just apply like a normal deodorant would be. And it's very effective. Now, sometimes with natural deodorants, and there's a lot of selections out there, you may take a little bit of time to adjust to that. Just give yourself that time, but really well worth it. And again, you know, taking care of yourself as well as the environment. One other thing that I use is an organic shampoo. Now, this is an all-natural organic shampoo. Again, reason being how many of us are washing our hair and how much of that water is going down the drain and into our system. So it's a great way to help to reduce some of the chemicals that are going out into the system and impacting our environment. So a lot of us are doing this already, but right now we're not because of COVID, but generally bringing a reusable bag. And yes, there's no doubt that, you know, plastic bags are an issue, but there's so much stuff that comes in plastic. But again, this is just one thing that we can do to make a difference. So I have about 4 of these in my purse. What I love about them is that they fold up. They have a little clip on them too, if you want to clip them to the outside of your purse. And then they stretch out into one really nice big bag. So I can get a lot of stuff in here, but it's not taking up a lot of room. For me, I have a lot of the cloth bags in my car, and unfortunately, I will admit, oftentimes that's where they stay. I get in the store and I'm like, oh, dang, I forgot that they're in the car. So if I do that and I don't happen to have these in my purse, which generally I always do because I come home, fold them back up, they go straight back into my purse. I'll just load all my stuff back into my cart, go out to my car, and then put them in my bags that I have out there. So a reusable shopping bag is great. And you know what? This comes in really handy because you just never know sometimes when you're going to need a bag to put something in. So a really great thing to use too. Now, one other thing that I do use is a Diva cup. So if you haven't heard about this before, it is a replacement for feminine hygiene products. And that is an incredible amount of waste too that is going into our landfills and into our systems. And this is a great way that you can make a significant reduction in that waste, from the wrappers to the plastics to the manufacturing of them, just with a simple Diva cup. And I will share some information in the comments section there as well. So one other thing that we do is part of our business as well is aqueous ozone. And aqueous ozone is ozone gas infused into water. And what we have is a system that connects to your water source and plugs into the wall. When you turn this system on, it creates the ozone, it infuses it into the water, and it dispenses it ready to use. Now, what I use this for is to clean absolutely everything. So this has allowed me to replace the numerous chemical cleaners that I used to use for cleaning my windows, for my toilets, for my floors. It allows me to clean my fruits and vegetables. And what it is that ozone gas is it's an extra oxygen molecule that attaches to an O2 and becomes an O3, but it's unstable and it doesn't like to be that way. So it's a great cleaner because it's looking to attack dirt and grime and break itself up and separate from that O2. So when you're done, it's reverting back to oxygen and water. So we were talking before about, you know, laundry soaps and shampoos and dish soaps that are all going down the drain and polluting our systems. Whereas this, no chemicals going down the drain. It reverts back to oxygen water when it's done its job. And it's a great way to make a huge impact on the world. We have those home-based units and we have them commercially as well. We have numerous large commercial organizations who are using them, as well as we use ours every day in our home. So I'll share some information with you guys about that too. Now, I think I covered mostly everything. We do use some LED light bulbs in our home as well to try to conserve and save energy that way. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things that are going on here that I haven't yet mentioned, but this just kind of gives you some ideas, some directions that you can take a look at that maybe you're not doing currently. And again, you know what, one simple change, if we each just make one little change and do things a little bit differently, it can have a really great impact. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any tips, anything that you're doing that's differently than what I am, I'd love to hear about that. Share your comments with me below. And if you're interested, follow me here on Facebook at Carla Archer, helping you work on your wellness. I try to come on most every day or every other day with some type of information to share with you. I've had a lot of great people on to interview. You can check through the feed and see my past videos. It has been a lot of fun. So I hope this helps you guys today, maybe some new tips, maybe some new information that you learned, and have a happy Earth Day. Do something special today to celebrate this wonderful planet that we live on. You know, we're privileged to live here and to have such beauty at our exposure, and we need to treat it right? Because this is the only place that we have to live. So it just takes one small change on your part to make things that much better. Have a fantastic rest of your day, you guys, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.